Nice. I'll start timing. My name is Bailey Brennick. I'm Sarah Malcolm.
I'm Rachel Brown.
I'm Mia Bielsa.
This is our Servant Leadership Project presentation. We decided to volunteer at DMARC in Des Moines. This organization first started out as a Protestant-based organization, and over time it grew to include over 130 member congregations from all different faiths. This organization relies on volunteers, donors, and support from the community in order to continue providing aid to Iowans. It is currently estimated that more than 34,000 people are served annually through the DMARC Food Pantry. DMARC started in 1952 and has 14 food pantry locations. A couple fun facts: in the fiscal year of 2017 to 2018, DMARC Food Pantry Network distributed 1,463,276 pounds of fresh fruit and vegetables in the greater Des Moines area. And in the same fiscal year, the network assisted more individuals in a single month than ever before. And this was 21,079 individuals in November of 2017. And there are nearly 100 corporate partners that provided over $100,000 in support.
And now I'm going to talk about our mission. This is a quote from DMARC: working together to meet basic human needs for the greater Des Moines community. There are currently 360,540 people in Iowa struggling with hunger, and these 890 of them are children. These shocking numbers were one of many reasons our group decided to spend out volunteer hours at Des Moines Area Religious Council. This organization provides a means for responding to basic needs as well as offers other basic necessities.
So, social issues. There's a lot of stigma surrounding hunger and poverty. When it comes to food assistance, DMARC's policy is if you need food, we are here to help. There's a common stigma that people who run food assistance are lazy and not hard workers, but that's not always the case. Life is unpredictable, and at any moment, any one of us could be food insecure. So DMARC provides food to the elderly, family, children, students, refugees, homeless individuals, veterans, and even moderate income families. In the 2017-2018 year, DMARC developed this hunger simulation, which allowed others to understand what it's like to live with this food insecurity. The participants, they could develop a food budget, and then they get the recommended servings of fruits, veggies, proteins, dairies, and grains from a grocery store, a food pantry, and then they apply for the SNAP benefits at the DHS office. And they do that all in 15 minutes. And then they discuss it at the end and talk about what it's like to be food insecure.
So now I'm going to talk about the nature of our project. So our nature was to volunteer at the DMARC in Des Moines. We would provide a service for our community, such as packing up food items to be transported to the community. We provided our time and effort, and it helped the DMARC operation to run continuously. And while we were volunteering, we had the opportunity to share stories and gain advice from staff members and other volunteers.
Our experience at DMAC, we were able to sort and package food into individual boxes to be transported to various partner food pantries. We all agreed that our time spent there we enjoyed it, but we wished we had spent more of our time out in the community volunteering with their other opportunities. This project gave us the opportunity to open our eyes to the struggles of people in our community deal with on a daily basis. Taking this experience will help us grow as servant leaders.
And then I had just taken pictures of where we actually volunteered at DMARC. And this is just like the warehouse where we spent our time sorting the foods that from the donations that they had received. And we also got to know more about the staff members. And Bailey and I volunteered at different times, but John, who was one of the main coordinators that we had worked with, he shared the same story to both Bailey and I without us even knowing until I had mentioned it to her. So that goes along with servant leadership, as us just listening to him, like what he had to say about his personal life. He shared with us that he, like a couple years ago, wanted to commit suicide, and it just seemed like he needed someone to talk to about it, other than others had known about it. So, Bailey, what do you think of it?
Well, I think it just kind of goes along with the servant leadership, listening without judging, and just being there for someone. But yeah, you know that him sharing it, I think he still needed some support in that way. So just being able to listen to him and let him talk.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So our objectives for this project, our service project was to help with our communication skills, because in healthcare we don't always know who will be serving the population, and this experience helped us to grow and serve a wide population that is in our community. We hope to gain insight into these people's lives and truly understand their struggles. And we hoped that it would help us grow as servant leaders and to assist us in our future as healthcare providers. And I think that it did that for me anyways.
So for the project outcomes, we improved our communication skills, as the story with John, as you guys shared. We would have liked to spend more time out in the community, and we grew as servant leaders. So in order to volunteer at DMARC, we reached out to the community partners supervisor to help set up times for each of us to complete our volunteer hours. Through this experience, we all had the chance to get to know the regular volunteers there. Many of them shared their life stories and why we have chosen to volunteer for DMARC for so long. Volunteering in the warehouse did not fulfill our second objective, to gain an insight into people's lives who we were helping. In the future, we would definitely
Where'd it go?
helping us grow as servant leaders. Greenleaf's vision of a servant leader is centered around the idea that we must first want to serve others before we can become great leaders. His idea that it comes naturally for those that want to serve, and then it becomes a conscious decision to become leaders. We all made the conscious decision to serve others, and when we stepped into the DMARC warehouse, it is now that we can take that experience and help us become leaders.
Okay, the future of our work with DMARC and other volunteer opportunities in the area. We hope to organize a food drive with Mercy that would help DMARC. We want to connect more with the community through other volunteer opportunities with different organizations throughout the community. And then we would recommend volunteering with DMARC to other students, and maybe including that they want to volunteer in other areas and not just in the warehouse. So DMARC also has a committee called Young and Hungry that is focused on getting the next generation of DMARC volunteers through outings and social events. Volunteers can host drives, participate in community outreach programs, or donate and organize food at the food pantries. There are many opportunities to become involved in the fight against hunger in the greater Des Moines area. So we hope to kind of push that on other Mercy students.
So what did we learn about being a servant leader? Accept others without judgment. One must first be a servant before becoming a great leader. Also, we made the decision to want to serve others when we volunteered at DMARC. We can now take this experience and help others become leaders. Greenlink's vision of servant leader is centered around the idea that we must first want to serve others before you can become great leaders. His idea that comes naturally for those that want to serve, and then it becomes a conscious decision to become a leader. We all made the conscious decision to want to serve others when we stepped into the DMARC warehouse, and it is now that we can take this experience to become leaders.
That is the end of our presentation.